Chapter 1 Introductory. The object of this little book is to give to the reader some idea of the many stages through which I have passed before reaching my present strength, and of my way of thinking nowadays when faced by a worthy opponent. No doubt it must be interesting to know how one of the strongest players in the world has obtained his strength, through what processes he has passed, his way of thinking when not yet developed, how his thoughts and ideas gradually changed until the present day, and whether or not these thoughts and ideas would still be capable of further development or changes. Apart from the psychological interest, there ought to be many points of practical value to those desirous of attaining a certain degree of proficiency in chess. As I go along narrating my chess career, I will stop at those points which I consider most important, giving examples of my games with my own notes written at the time the games were played, or when not, expressing the ideas I had while the game was in progress. This will make the book different from all others, and I believe more interesting. At the end, if space permits, I will add some points that will be useful, principally to beginners, but some of which may be also of value to more experienced players. I was born in Habana, the capital of the island of Cuba, the 19th of November, 1888. I was not yet 5 years old when by accident I came into my father's private office and found him playing with another gentleman. I had never seen a game of chess before. The pieces interested me, and I went the next day to see them play again. The third day, as I looked on, my father, a very poor beginner, moved a knight from a white square to another white square. His opponent, apparently not a better player, did not notice it. My father won, and I proceeded to call him a cheat and to laugh. After a little wrangle, during which I was nearly put out of the room, I showed my father what he had done. He asked me how and what I knew about chess. I answered that I could beat him. He said that that was impossible, considering that I could not even set the pieces correctly. We tried conclusions, and I won. That was my beginning. A few days after, my father took me to the Habana Chess Club, where the strongest players found it impossible to give me a queen. About that time, the Russian master, Taubenhaus, visited Habana, and he declared it beyond him to give me such odds. Later, in Paris in 1911, Mr. Taubenhaus would often say, "I am the only living master who has given Mr. Capablanca a queen." Then followed several years in which I only played occasionally at home. The medical men said that it would harm me to go on playing. When 8 years old, I frequented the club on Sundays, and soon Don Kelso Golmayo, the strongest player there, was unable to give me a rook. After 2 or 3 months, I left Habana and did not play chess again until I returned. I was 11 years old then, and H.N. Pillsbury had just visited the club and left everybody astounded at his enormous capacity and genius. Don Kelso Golmayo was dead, but there still remained Vasquez and J. Corzo, the latter having just won the championship from the former. In this atmosphere, in 3 months, I advanced to the first rank. In order to test my strength, a series of games was arranged, in which I was to play 2 games against each one of the first-class players. All the strong players took part in the contest except Vasquez, who had just died. The result proved that I stood next to the champion, J. Corzo, to whom I lost both games.